An overview of the layout. Most of you have seen my train videos of my layout. An overview of the layout here. However, this layout would not be what it is if it weren't for the electricity that it uses. So let's take an inside tour as to how this layout works and what is used to bring everything to life, to run the trains, to run the accessories, etc., etc. Now let's take a look at the components. An inside look to my layouts control panel and control components. Right now the control panel consists of some switch machine control boxes, the Atlas selectors, which control the track blocks and select which cab controls that block. And right here we have the Atlas controller, which will control reverse loops and Y tracks, etc. This particular one will control my Y track that I will soon install. Now, as you can tell, based on my control panel, I use the Atlas wiring system. My layout consists of DC power, conventional DC power, and uses the common rail system, where one rail is common throughout the entire layout, whereas the other one is blocked with electrical gaps. That's where the selectors come in handy. Each of the selector switches powers one of these blocks or gaps. Or, I'm sorry, sections of rail, which are insulated by these electrical gaps. Now let's take a look at the throttles here. These throttles are the transistor throttle, and each will be converted to the handheld type, which will allow me to walk around the layout while still running the trains. Okay, now let's take a look at the back and see what brings layout to life. Okay, here is the back of the control panel, the electrical brains of the layout. As you can see, we have the throttle circuits as well as the main accessory power supply. This is a PC type power supply out of an old computer. As you can look here, we have the power transformers for the throttles, and over here we have the cab A throttle circuit, and then up here we have the cab B throttle circuit. The cab B throttle circuit is one that I built myself. The cab A throttle circuit is out of a power pack that I pulled out of the case myself. And the switch machine power supply is down here on the ground, which needs to be installed into the control panel here. As you can see, with the additions to the layout, this control panel is not complete. However, with the ever-growing layout, the control panel will grow as well. Now let's take a look at the computer power supply. Over here we have the terminals. The red wire is plus 5 volts, the yellow wire is plus 12, and the black wire is the common or the ground. Now, as I've stated in earlier videos, my layout uses 5 volts for the signal circuits and 12 volts for the block occupancy detectors. And since those are the only accessories I have powered right now, that's all that's hooked into the power supply. So, an overview of the control components that power up the layout.